I see the flies are back for another board meeting. Board meeting, see what I did there? Oh look, some vandal tagger has felt so sad and lonely and special they felt the need to tell the world who they are. Look at me, look at me. They need to learn to spell though. That's not how you spell the teeniest, tiniest little acorns just starting to form. This is the time when the wasps lay their eggs inside them, which causes them to mutate and turn into different types of gall depending on the type of wasp. But in a few months' time we'll be out looking for marble galls and spangle galls and cherry galls and knopper galls and all the other different types of galls there are. And here we have the first tiny baby blackberries starting to form at the hearts of what were the bramble flowers. Won't be long, bramble jelly. That's a very noisy chiff-chaff. We have a profusion of different trees all growing on top of each other here. I wonder which ones are going to win and steal all the light. I mean, here you've got young hazel, and you've got young sycamore here, and then we've got horse chestnut here, big old horse chestnut hands as they call them, and then we've got a cherry breaking through here. Who's going to win? First hint of the pink flowers that will soon be arriving on the rose bay willow herb. I'll keep you posted on those. But the flowers do make good jam, or a flavouring for jam I should say. I heard a good fact today that I thought I'd share with you, and it's this: a speck of dust, you know, ordinary household dust, is about halfway along the scale in size between an atom and the size of the Earth. Just think about that, a sliding scale between the size of an atom and the size of the Earth, and halfway along that scale is a speck of dust, which just goes to show you how much larger the Earth is than a speck of dust, and how much smaller an atom is than a speck of dust. That's a big old beetle. Look at that beauty. Well, the pineapple weed's coming out in force now, and as usual it's always on the margins, it seems to me, always on the margins of paths and roads. Look, it's all pineapple weed all along here. Loads of it this year. Oh, and the sign's been cleaned. Oh, that's going to upset our sad little tagger, isn't it? It's 6 o'clock in the morning and there are foxes in my garden sunbathing. I got woken up by them having a little squabble earlier. Oh, and apologies for the length of my lawn. It needs cutting, but we haven't had 2 straight days without rain where I can get out there and do it. Maybe this weekend. The wild cherries are now getting to that beautiful purple colour, that lovely rich colour that shows that they are completely and totally ripe now. And if you eat them when they're like this, they're actually bearable. They are bearable, but they're still very bitter. You need a bit of sugar with them, but this is the stage where you pick them for jam. Blimey, lots of rowan berries on the rowan trees already. It's only July. Thistle watch. Well, they're starting to burst out all over now. Got a couple of corkers here, look at that one. That's lovely. Still only one flower head on the spear thistle though. It's a beauty of a flower head. Look at that lovely thing. But only the one so far. And how many are there on here? There's got to be a good 50-60 heads on this thing. It's going to be lovely. Another one here with a tiny little bee. Really tiny little bee. He's enjoying every moment of it, eh? Thistle watch. Well, this is a lovely thing to suddenly find growing out of the tarmac. This is an evening primrose. Well, it's an evening primrose of some kind anyway. And Yeah, just growing out of the tarmac, look. Along with all these other wildflowers. It's lovely. Nature finds a way, as they said in Jurassic Park. My word, look. The astroturf. It's evolving. It can breed. It's alive. It's alive! Sometimes you've got to love the British use of language, haven't you? I mean, we got a pudding called Spotted Dick, and this beautiful wildflower is known as Stinking Willy. Stinking Willy! And there's a little butterfly on there. Oh. On the subject of butterflies, they just seem to have all hatched in the last few days, because up until last week I was hardly seeing any, maybe the occasional meadow brown or an orange tip, but suddenly there seem to be a lot more. Particularly marble whites. It's the first marble whites I've seen this year. And like they all seem to have emerged around the same time. Maybe it's a change in the weather because it's got slightly warmer. Who knows? But it's lovely to see it. Still nowhere near as many as I'd want to see. I have been walking these fields with my various dogs for the last nearly 20 years. And even if you just go back 10 years or so, this would have been alive for butterflies now, this time of year, you know, first week of July. But that's where we are, unfortunately, right now. But as today is the 4th of July and election day in the UK, oh, and happy Independence Day to my American friends, I'm hoping, perhaps a change of government, if that happens, will mean we get people who are a little bit more attuned to the problems we have at the moment with the environment. Because the current crowd just seemed completely in the pay of the big oil companies, and things are just getting worse and worse and worse. The forest of bracken, lots of bracken. Also a great hangout place for ticks, so I'm making sure Mr. here stays well away from the main body of it. Come on you, this way, away from Tick City, or the tick high rises. Starting to see rose bay willow herb here amongst all this grass. Some of the flowers, look. This will all be pinky purple soon. Over this side, where it gets a bit more sun, they've already started coming out, look. All the flowers are starting to come out. And my word, we're going to have some blackberries this year. Look at this lot already, look at them. Tons and tons and tons and tons of them already. It's going to be a good year for blackberries. Look how far that one's along, look. Amazing. Should we grow them now? Well, you know what, I think that's just about it for this week. There's not a lot new to report on, to be honest, just more of the same and a slight evolution. Like I said, the butterflies appearing this week and a few more things bursting into life, like the rowan berries and the blackberries, etc. And the weather's a bit flippy floppy. I mean, if I go this way, you can see the sky's all blue and there's clouds, and when I came out for a walk it was bright sunshine. If I go over that way, it's all looming grey with the possibility of rain, and today it's been a mix of both. So as I say, there's not a lot new to report on, and I don't want to get home before I get wet. I will just say one thing. I've been reading through your comments on YouTube, and thank you so much for leaving them. It means a lot to me because it shows that people are enjoying the content. That's the whole point of me putting it there. I'm not out there doing this to make money or to become an influencer. I'm doing it because I just want people to have a bit of fun and maybe inspire some of you to try some of these things yourselves. However, there's a lot of people saying, well, I wish you could do more of this and I wish you could do that, and how about if you try this? Trust me, I would love to do all of those things. I would love to spend all day crafting and making and doing stuff that's fun. However, like most people, I don't have the luxury of being able to do that. Despite some of you thinking I'm an old man who's retired, I'm not. I have a full-time job. I'm a university lecturer. I'm 63 next month. I'm not quite on the scrap heap yet. Of course, I've also got other commitments. I've got, family, I've got friends, I've got a social life. I'm also involved with other arts projects. I'm building props and costumes and things for an alternative fashion show in a couple of months, which is all about reusing and repurposing things. I'm also working on a photo calendar project. I'm working on costumes and props for that. I'm involved in all sorts of things. Plus, I'm trying to write the next book as well. There's also a paranormal convention taking place in Buckinghamshire here in the UK in the autumn, where I'm one of the speakers, where I'm going to be looking at the psychology of the paranormal, which will be quite interesting. And all these things take up my time. Of course they do. There's only 24 hours in a day. I would give them all up tomorrow if I could do nothing but create art. And the only way that's going to happen is sponsorship. And that either means me getting my subscriber count up significantly higher. I mean, I'm delighted I got 44k, but it needs to be a lot higher before I start getting any kind of sponsorship deals. But there's also Patreon. If you like what I do, can you spare $1 a month? Can you spare £1 or €1 or a yen or a krona? You know, it may not seem a lot, and it isn't a lot. It's what you'd lose down the back of a sofa, but if enough of you did it, it would generate enough income that I could take those extra days off work and use them to create a lot more interesting things. But anyway, enough of that sort of stuff. It's nothing worse than begging, is there? I'm going to get home because it's just starting to spit with rain. So I will see you all in the next video. And so will Harris. Doodle pip. If you've enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing. Or click on some of these links to look at some of the other videos on the channel. Or press the like button. Or leave a comment. It would be lovely to hear from you. Any combination of those 4 things would be wonderful. Thank you very much.